part of what I was doing when I was undercover, I was networking with other undercovers from around the country to be able to bounce ideas off of them and say, hey, this app is popular out here. What are you guys using? How are you using it? Do you have, warrant go-bys and stuff like that? And when I was working on my book, one of my buddies that I had done a lot of the undercover with from back east made a joke about how the title of my book should really be My Life as a 14-Year-Old Girl. Because that's what I spent most of my time doing for
Yeah.
the better part of, 5-6 years, was pretending to be a 14-year-old kid, primarily a girl, online, because that's what the bad guys wanted. And that's what I was going to do and pretend to be able to catch those bad guys. And a lot of it is trial and error. And it's still to this day is a lot of trial and error on the part of the investigators, because the apps are coming out faster than we can learn about them. And so we just have to get on them and start playing.
So when you start up and you're deciding, you know what, I'm going to go online, I'm going to do this undercover shit and try to catch these guys. What are you initially seeing, and how are you, like, what are the types of questions and stuff? And you're just starting out. So I'm trying to put our citizens to fully understand, like, this is what people are saying to me. This is how long it took me to get this guy to treat me this way, or this is how little time it took for me to get this guy to treat me that way.
So one of the big questions that I get a lot is, what's the worst app? What should I not let my kids get on? Is Snapchat worse? Is Kick worse? Is, any particular app? Should I keep them off TikTok, whatever? And really, the sad part is, anywhere that there's kids, there's predators looking to find. It doesn't matter. Back in the day, there was a game called Club Penguin. And in Club Penguin, the kids would make their little penguin, and they'd go around and they do little things, and they could communicate back and forth with the other penguins. We found predators on that. We found them on Facebook. We found them on Twitter. We found them on Discord. We found them on Kick. It doesn't matter. They're on Roblox. They're on Fortnite. The predators are everywhere that the kids are. And, it was really sad, because at one point I was using an online chat board where I was able to get a lot of business. And I would go into the kids chat room, and to get into the kids chat room, it specified that this was for kids between the ages of 13 and 16. You could be in it if you were 16 to 18, but the moderators preferred only 13 to 16. They wanted the older teens to go into the teen chat room, and then no adults were supposed to be in there. If you were over 18, you were supposed to go to the adult chat room. And not only would it tell you that as you went to click into it, but then as soon as you clicked into it, it would bring a pop-up that said, you need to be between these ages. If you're not, a moderator will kick you out. And then you had to accept that and say, yes, I agree that I'm within this age range. And then as it brought up the actual chat room to start chatting with people, it would have another disclaimer that said, you have to be between these ages or you might get kicked out. And so I would go into this kids chat room that's designed for tweens and teens. And on average, it would take 5 minutes or less to have a 40-year-old guy sending me a picture of his genitals and asking me if I wanted to chat with him, because I was in there and I was portraying myself as a 12, 13, 14-year-old child. And it took no time at all. I would use a couple of other apps where I would send out a message, and it would be something innocuous. I sent one out that said, hey guys, I'm bored. Hit me up if you want to chat. And within 60 minutes, I had more than 60 responses from adults who knew that I was a juvenile or believed that I was a juvenile, that were saying, hey, I've got some ideas for you. Here's how I can cure your boredom. And of course, none of them were, appropriate responses. None of them were things that should be said to a child. And I had one guy that lived in a neighboring county, a neighboring city, It's about a 25, 30-minute drive from where he was to where I said I was. And from the time that we made first contact on this application to the time that I had handcuffs on him was an hour and a half. And he said he had to shower and drive out there. And he was driving out to have sex with what he believed to be was a 14-year-old girl. And he even stopped at Circle K and got me a soda on the way and bought his condoms. And he was in cuffs in an hour and a half and 90 minutes. And 30 minutes of that, 30 odd minutes of that was drive time.
Damn. So something like that would, at least in Arizona, what type of time is a person like that looking at?
Sadly, at that time, the way the law was written for the aggravated luring, they were only looking at a class 4 felony and it was probation eligible. And so unless they had additional images of child sexual abuse materials on their devices, most of them were getting probation.